Welcome back to another video. Well, we've made a lot of progress the last couple of weeks. If you haven't seen the windshield video or the suicide doors, those were some pretty big videos and pretty big milestones. So if you haven't seen those, go back, check those out. Those were really fun to do. A lot of work, but really fun. So we're getting there. This video, I think we need to clean up the dash, get the dash painted. Wheels and tires are in, so we're gonna I'll show you those, and we'll get those mounted and put on. And then we've got to do our center caps, and then I guess we're gonna do probably, I'm not sure, but maybe swap out the headlights. Actually, we're gonna use the same housings and lenses, but we're gonna change out the plugs and all that because it's 6-volt. We're going to 12, and then the rear light, we got to modify it, figure out how to mount it and all that kind of stuff, and then we have an LED conversion for that, so that's going to look good. But it's going to look like the old lens with the standoff and the license plate mount. So probably get that knocked out, and then I need to make a list of what I need to do so I can start checking it off, because we're getting to that point now where I'm going to forget stuff. So make a list at some point. All right, let's get the dash going, get some tires on this thing, see what it looks like. Here we go. That's right. Yes, tires and wheels are in. We reached out to Coupe and got some of these American Classics. These are 7/10/15s, so they're about 28.4 inches. So I think that's going to be really good for that. And then got some Steelies here. These are also 15. I think these are by 6s. It's got some nice black wheels, and it came with the center caps. Let me show you that. Maybe. Well, obviously this doesn't go with this. I mean, our hood ornament, old chrome, not very shiny. This just isn't going to cut it. So I'm going to scuff these up really good, put some etching primer on it, and I'm going to paint them satin black to match the wheels. That should blend it in. I think this is a little bit too loud though, so I'll get to sanding, get some primer and some paint on them, and we'll be back in a little bit. Figure I'm going to work on the dash for a little bit, but I need to get that figured out what I'm going to do. Our center section here I'm going to clean up, and I think I'm going to leave it raw, but I'm going to put like a matte finish on it. And then this top section through here where our bolts go through, I think I'm going to leave that just the bare metal, put a matte on that, and then I'll tape off this edge, and then everything else I'll do like a flat black. That way it blends into the rest, but it kind of gives a little bit of character, especially since our gauges are white. It will, I think it might stand out pretty good. We don't want it to be too crazy, but I think the black behind it might be a little too much. So we'll go with this as just raw, and then metal. So I'm gonna start cleaning this stuff up. Well, we got our tires back, and I just want to put a rear on and a front on so I can see what they look like. Oh. I'm not putting the center caps on or anything like that right now, but put 3 on and step back and see what she looks like. Oh, that looks good. That's not even on the ground. We still have an inch or so there. That's cool. All right, let's check the front. Actually, I want to check the back to make sure we look good everywhere. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. Oh man, that looks good with the fender too. Sitting a little high right now, but we're still off the ground. But I think it'll settle some. In worst case, we can get like a 2-inch lowering block in the back. I don't want to do anything until we get sitting on the ground completely. Let's throw the front on. I don't know if we're all the way off the ground or not. Oh yeah, we are. We're good. Nope. Oh yeah, the front will drop down quite a bit still. Hey, there we go. Heck yeah. Oh, we got nice. It tucks nice up into that fender like that. Sweet. We have the other two, but we're just gonna leave those off for now. We got our trim pieces off, or our tape, and we got a clear mat on it. I think that looks pretty good. Remember, our center section is the mat also. I think that's a good contrast with it, especially with the way the rest of the car looks. Not perfect, but that's even better. We'll pull out our gauges to kind of see how much room we have, what we need to hook up, so we can get these installed into the dash without having to do too much wiring yet. But this came with our packages for temperature, or our oil, temperature, fuel level, and our oil pressure. So it's got these cool adapters with quick plug-ins, so it's kind of cool. So I'm going to remove the old oil pressure plug from the motor, which I just did right here, which was right, can't see it, but like right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the thread sealant on this, get that installed, get the temperature sensor, which was right here, get that installed. I'm not gonna hook up these other wiring just yet, but that way I know those are in, and then I can get this installed into the dash along with the speedo, which is a GPS unit. So it's simple wiring there. And then that should look pretty good. So let me get these installed real quick. All right, you see that little hole right there? That's where our oil pressure gets threaded into. But I had an issue where this is too wide and it's hitting, and I didn't want to trim off the edges of that because I didn't think that would be right, and I didn't know if I could get enough to make it work. So I tried to use this. I had this thread here so I could thread that in, and then this piece, and then thread that into the top of this, but it was too tall. It hit the bottom of the distributor. So I found this 90, so I'm gonna stick this in, and I should be able to get it to work, I'm hoping. So let me thread this in real quick, and yeah, hope that works. Or we're gonna go back and we're gonna trim off the edges of this. There we go, we got it installed, the 90's out of the way. Kind of see that we have good angles now. Where's that? There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and thread that in, and then we should be set. And there she is, installed into the 90. And then right there you can kind of see we have plenty of room right there to get our connection put in. So I guess we're going to put this on first, because it'd be easier, especially with these wing nuts and everything else, to get this fitted just right with it out of the car. And then we'll get the gauges in. So we have our quad gauge. You can see the previous videos. There's our quad gauge. And then And then there's our GPS speedo. Okay. You don't get to see it yet, so you just have to wait too, so we can experience it together. How's that? All right, let's see here. Get all these started. FYI, I wanted all of my screws right here, once I get them in, to be horizontal. So I had to go through a handful of them to get it tight, so that's when I tightened it, that's where it was at. So it was horizontal. I don't know, some of them are off or something, I don't know, but so I labeled the back of each one. You probably can't even see that, but I have 1 through 5. So okay, so that went back together pretty good. Let's get these just snug, and then hopefully this will work. I got the speedometer's a little crooked. I need to fix that real quick, and then I'll show you. So the back of the 2 gauges that are in, they're the wiring, well, they're quick connects, and then the main power wiring, they're pretty long, so it's not like I have to get in there and try to contort to be able to see everything. So that's not too bad. I have the ignition switch that still has to go in, and now these I'm going to probably take off one at a time at some point and put some blue Loctite on those screws. But let me see if I can turn this just a little. Oh, dang. Okay, I guess you can see it. Don't you forget it now. All right, you ready? 1, 2. All right, here we go. Oh, yes. Man, that looks good. I think the two-tone is really good. It's not right in your face or anything. Heck yeah. So our left one, that's going to be our ignition switch, and that's going to be our headlight switch there. I probably won't put the headlight switch in. I might put it in just so you can see it, but it'll be easier to wire that out and to just slide it through to tighten it up. Same thing with the ignition switch, but man, that looks good. Show you from over here too. Yeah, I think that turned out really good. See, we do have some flaws, but I think that like ties it into the rest of the body. I didn't want to try to grind those out or clean everything up. Man, I think that turned out really good. I do like the two-tone. I already said it once. I'll say it again. You'll probably hear it again. Well, you knew good well I needed to see what it looked like inside. So there's our headlight switch. Here's our 4-point connector on it. We're not ready to wire up yet, although we are close. Oh, that's good for it. Okay, that slides in there. We're not going to tighten these up very much, just enough. All right, we'll just do that. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, there's that. Nope. Ha 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 ha. Well, what do you think? I think it looks pretty good. Heck yeah. We're gonna try to start working on these headlights. Again, we want to use our lenses and our chrome rings and our main housing. Not sure why this one is rotated, but we're gonna have to fix that. So we're going with the same look. Around the back side, you can see where the old wiring came through and then somehow traced into here, and that's where your wiring connection goes and merges together. My thought was, with our new plug, which here's our conversion kit, it comes with your 2 clamps, comes with 2 sockets, comes with 2 bulbs there, and then we have our dimmer switch that we need to put on and everything else. I don't want the wires exposed through here, so I wanted some kind of a sleeve, kind of protect it, make it look good. So my thought was, kind of weird, but it kind of works. I had these old like cane feet, and they actually slide and cover over this perfectly. So it's a tight fit. So my plan is drill a hole in here, let it fish through, come through there, and then I have this hose. I don't know if it's fuel hose, whatever, but it doesn't really matter. That the wiring can go through. And then I got my grommet kit. If you don't have a grommet kit, it's pretty handy. So I found a grommet that fit our hose size and fit our diameter here. So it'll fit in there just perfect. So this is what I came up with. Here's our short version. So here's our plug. That's gonna plug into our back of our light. That's gonna slide up. You can see the hose. It goes in between the two, and then we have our grommet. So it'll fit into there. So it'll be running through there. So I think that's a lot cleaner than just having exposed wires. So I'm gonna make these 2 of these up real quick, and then take the headlights apart, vice versa, some order. So I got to get done anyway, and then we'll see what we can do. I think that'll work though. Okay, push these apart. Oh, here's the whole thing. Can we take it off without the hub? What are we doing here? Come on. We don't need any breakage. There's the ring. Okay. Let's get this over here so it's safe. Well, there's the innards. There's our other light, like that. So let's go ahead and get this disconnected. We only need 1 bulb location. So let me get this disassembled first. All right. Don't need you. Don't need you. And I guess, well, that's about falling apart anyway. All right, I'm going to figure out how to take this apart and get these bulbs out of here, or these sockets, and then see what we need to do to fit the new ones. Well, the instructions said to drill this out to 1 inch. I mean, I think it was like 7/8 anyway, not a big deal, because that's where the light went through. Wasn't thinking. Obviously, it has to go through the reflective housing, so whatever. I did have to drill this out to 1 inch, but this main clip bracket for the light and this compression is supposed to go onto the back and sandwich it. Would not work. For the life of me, I've tried everything I could. It just wouldn't work. So what I ended up doing was taking some of those 8 3/2 machine screws, drilling 2 holes and putting it in there. And then here's the halogen bulb. Remember, don't touch those. The oil in your hands will screw them up. But see the flat spot here? That'll go down on this. And that fits in perfect. Put the spring up and lock it in. All right, locked in. You can kind of see that now. It's not going anywhere. See? So I just don't have that retaining ring on the back. But the way that's set up now, the actual plug, so the actual plug will be inside the housing now. So I don't think I'm going to need to use the cane cap. So I think I can just use the hose. There. I can just use the hose with this grommet right here. Well, I have to just find another grommet. This is for the radiator. So I'll have to get another grommet for here, and that should work. But my plan is, you can see it's a three prong here. So the instructions show you what's high beam, low beam, and what's ground. So before I run these wires through, I think I'm going to trace, which wire's which and label it. So then when I slide it through and it's sticking by the radiator, I know which one's which instead of having to pull all the stuff apart. So yeah, let me go ahead and find a grommet that'll fit the back of the headlight bucket. And I'll get another one of these, cut this to length, and then figure out my wiring and get these snapped in and we kind of get it wrapped up. So let me figure out if that's going to work first. Here's our headlight housing. So what we did was I traced each of these wires for that being up, and I put blue tape on it. High beam, I put pink, and I just left the ground as black. So we have those three. I just marked it on my tape so I know, and I did both of these. So now I can go ahead and put it in. Went to the old grommet kit, found me another grommet. The inside diameter is a little bit loose from our hose, but it's going to be all right for what we need. And then we got our hose and we got our 3-wire here. So we're going to fish this through here. And hopefully all the tape sticks. Perfect. Pull that through. And then we'll stick that through here. Just going to leave it loose till I get it connected. And then I can slide it where I need it. And then our grommet back here. Go ahead and pop that in. All right, that's good there. I'm going to leave that disconnected for a second and bring our light over. This is going up. Let me go ahead and we'll get this connected, hopefully. There we go. There, bottomed out. Okay, so let's set this in here. There should be a little catch in here somewhere. There we go. Or reversed it or something. Okay, and then we should just have to do a little turn. That one is turned. All right, well, that's in there. So we're gonna leave that. Let's see if we can get this glass lens back on here. Camera overheated, but I got this one installed. I actually had to take the ring and the lens off of this one to put over here because the two rings are actually different. This one on this side kind of like slides together, so it crimps it, and the other one had like this spring in it. So this one I put over here. Let me show you the glass. The glass popped, but I don't know if this ring right here is right, or might be right for 29, but everything I read is just they're horrible of working with them because it's got this ring on the inside and it compresses it. I don't know. So the glass busted, so I got to find a new piece of glass, which I looked on eBay and it's this Twilight Chevrolet, so I can find those. And I'm going to get another ring. See how this one's got rivets down here. The other one doesn't have it, so the whole ring compresses instead of these things. So I'm going to see if I can find another ring that matches the one over here and put it on because it was a lot easier to work with. And then when I took the headlight lens off, the other one, there's this old, thick, like weird paper gasket. So what I did, I had some of this expanding, like weather stripping foam. I stripped it in half, cut it in half, and I just kind of traced it around the lens to put it together. And it turned out good. So we know that's going to fit in there now, which is good. I think I'm going to just leave these hanging loose right now. That way I can, once I get the wires ready, I can hook the connectors to, then pull it through there and connect them instead of trying to work back through here. So I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, I like that. It looks nice and clean. All right. Tell you what, you ever just had one of those days where just nothing's going right? That's my today. So I'm going to go ahead and get done what I can get done on this left lens, or get the light and everything ready for it. So all I have to do is put the new ring and lens on once I find one. So I'll do that. Stupid. Here's our Twilight lens. Obviously can't use it. I went on eBay and found another lens, same type, Twilight. I also, if you look right here, these 29s, I guess 2930s, they had different types of these ring retainers. You can see this one is internal, so these squeeze back and forth to clamp around this and clamp around the housing. See, it's got the rivets here. You can kind of tell that apart from this one, which is actually built in and attached to this frame, so you can kind of see where it overlaps. That'll squeeze together and tighten together. These are much easier to work with and less issues. The one that was over there that I just showed you, it was on here, but it's upside down. I guess somebody put it on at another point to make it work, but it didn't. So I found another ring that matches this one, so we'll have two matching rings, and it can be set up the right way. So this is all together. All we have to do is put the lens, the foam gasket, and then attach it when that comes in. So that'll be a couple days. We'll be good on that. Our new temperature gauge or quad gauge has a sending unit. This is an old one that I had in here. Actually, it's new, but it was just a single wire. So this is the one that came with the gauge for the temperature. It's got a quick plug in. So I'm going to take that other one out. I got this adapter with down to an 1/8 inch thread. So I'll get that put in. Then this will be ready to hook the wire to. So I might actually just go ahead and run the wire from this and from the oil pressure, route them and get them through the firewall and see what we kind of look like. So let me get this done real quick. All right, we got our new temp plug in. We have a quick connect with a wire that'll run through here. We have a bunch of holes in the firewall. So I think we're going to use this one here. So we'll get this attached, and then I'll show you our options for our grommets. So there's our plug that goes into the temp sending unit. And this is the plug for the back of the gauge. Well, we have three options. We have grommets that we can use. I have a whole set of plugs that you can use, and then you can slot the insides to make them fit right. And then I also have some duct seal. This is like a butyl type. It always stays flexible, but it seals really good. So I have three options. I think for this one, I'm going to use a grommet, and then we'll see if we can find something close. But worst case, we can use a plug, and then we can use some of the duct seal around it. Or worst case, we'll just use duct seal, period. We got our wire. We got it clipped in here. We got it zip tied around to our vacuum line through here to keep it kind of off and floating, in through the grommet, and then in through the firewall. You see there's a little light around it. We might run another wire or something through there at some point. If not, then we'll put some of that duct seal on it. I have all this run long right now until I get everything else connected, but it's pretty easy on the back of the gauge. It says temp, and we just click it in. So then our other one here is for oil pressure, and this should be for a fuel. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the oil run through here and routed and clipped, and then we'll figure out how to tie everything off. And just like that, see the wire right there? The oil pressure line is in and up through there through the grommet. And I have it connected back to the gauge. I'll worry about that bird nest later. If you've watched these videos, you saw probably first or second video, the spare tire carrier that was on the back. We obviously can't use that. We could if we had to modify it a lot, but we're not. But it just had the basic kind of round, I don't know, old school tail light. So what I did, I found another Chevy tail light. They had two different types. We went on each fender and they kind of flared out. You can kind of see how it's straight, it flares to this way. The other one flared that way. This one has the license plate holder on it. So I'm going to modify this to make this work. And we have our tail or our license plate bracket built into it. So I'm going to strip this down, figure out where I'm going to mount it. I think I'm going to end up cutting it right around through here and then bending it over so it's 90 degrees to this. And I'll show you where we're going to put it to. So we have that. Our housing's good here. Our bezel cover's good. You can see it's got the Chevy logo in it. But I also did find two in the original boxes of our reflectors. So that's going to be cool. That's going to fit in there really cool. We have that. And then for our lighting in the rear, we have this LED. We have this LED conversion, and it's got the 2 white lights down here of LEDs, and then the brake light and stop lights type of stuff. So we'll put that in at some point as well, but we got to get this figured out where we're going to put it and mount it. So I'm going to go ahead and strip this thing down. Oh, come on, get in the bag. Yep, there you go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and strip this down. Get all this old wiring out of here. It's all garbage. We do have a good chase to run the new wiring in. Ow, got a metal sliver. Straighten this up. Probably take this off to clean it up a little bit and figure out where we're going to mount it. And then I'll see you here in a second. Like I said before, nothing comes easy. This is our rear lens. You can see our screw-in spot here, but nothing over here. So that's missing. So took the little mini belt sander, ground this down so I can pop this little rivet out. I had this little angle bracket cut off the end, so I'm going to kind of figure out where I need to put this. Then I can drill and tap this so we can attach it into there somewhere, and then we'll go to the next step. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but I can't just leave one bolt. That's silly. So all right, let me drill this out and then figure out this, and I'll show you once I get this figured out. I had to change up my bracket a little bit. So what I have is this piece here that's got an 1/8 inch hole there. That's tapped to 8/32, which is the same as this over here. And I've cleaned these threads up too. And then I'm going to take a rivet and go through the back side here and then rivet this onto there. So let me do that real quick and I'll show you what we got. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. All right, there's our piece there, rivet there. That's got a solid one, but whatever, that's going to work. So now let me just put my lens on and make sure that this lines up. Cool. Mounts up, so we're good. I'm going to take this back apart, and because I don't need to put that on yet, I'm going to have to figure out how to mount this to the other base here. So big step out of the way. Okay, so this is our rear light. If you look at it, you can kind of see if this is flat, that it's kicked this way. So my plan is to cut a wedge out through here so I can straighten this up. That's probably the first bit. And then the second bit is I think we're going to have to bend this bracket more this way to bring this forward a little bit. My plan is to put it centered here, let the license plate be right around through there. That gives us good access to this back panel to get our wiring and stuff through. And yeah, we'll have to kind of play with it first. I think first bit is to get this cut and bent so I can get it straight. And I can figure out up and down where I need to go and where this needs to go. Probably need to put my light on here so I can get that kind of straight. Because right now at that, it looks like it's laying down. So yeah. All right, let me like my cool 29 Kentucky license plate. It's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, anyway. All right, let me figure out where to cut this and see if I can start bending it some. And I'll be back in a minute. Right.
Okay, I got this somewhat in here. I'm just hoping I can get a good tack on it with this big old gloves. Let me come down just a little and I can show you what I got. I want to get a tack on it so then I can grind it. Okay. Well, just threw you off there. Hold on. Get some of this stuff out of the way and I'll show you what we got. Got there. That, and that. Perfect. Okay. So I'll show you from this angle. I think it looks kind of cool. We got a nice curve here. Got our license plate there. I still have on this bracket for the plate. I think it's kind of like this. So I'm going to tweak it back out. So that'll help that part right there. But we are off the body. Yep, see, off the body. That looks good there. You kind of see we got it tweaked around so we can get the angle. So we'll take this back off, finish cleaning that up. And then I need to drill a hole through this apron for the wiring. And I'm sure I'm missing something else, but let me go ahead and get this off. Finish welded, ground down, and get this hole drilled, and then we'll see kind of where we're at. All right, I finished getting it welded up. I think it turned out really good. You can't even tell, except for the raw metal. So, got that done. We took our license plate bracket and we tweaked it just a little bit to the outside. So that's going to straighten that up. I just need to clean this off with some acetone, something like that. I'm going to get some flat black on it, let that dry, and then we should be ready to put it back in. I did get a hole drilled, but while this is drying, I'm going to get a grommet on that. That way I can fish it through at some point, and it's already there. I don't have to kind of work on it. And once it's dry, we can get our housing back on it, and we're almost there. So let me get this cleaned up, and we'll get some paint on her. Well, I have my rear taillight housing with the Chevy logo on it. I was going to see if I could clean it up because it was kind of like brown and just a little rusty kind of grossness. Check this out. Just use some water and some 4/0 steel wool. Tell the difference? Yeah. That's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of this. Make it look, I mean, if you look close, it's not perfect, but this looks way better than this. And I kind of match the rest of the flat chrome color that's on the car in spots. Here's the painted. We got the housing assembled onto there. We've got it bolted together, so that's good. We just used a black hex back here to kind of blend it in. I have my LED board. I went ahead and put a little rubber hose around it and then just taped it just to protect against chafing from here. So we're going to fish the wires through there. And then underneath, you can kind of see there's a channel that the wire run through that. I'm just going to pull it out from here now until we do our wiring, and then I can fish it through the rest of that. And if you look here on the bottom of this LED, those are the white LEDs for the license plate bracket. So make sure those are down. Just line up with this. We'll go ahead and try to get our lens and everything else on, hopefully. All right, we got the housing on. Looks pretty good, actually. I do like it. I guess we're going to try to mount this up to here now. All right, let's get our license plate on here.
Now you can see this license plate's an original Kentucky 1929. I don't know where your state's at, what your rules and stuff are, but here, if you have antique plates, they issue a state-issued antique plate, which says antique automobile. It's got an old car picture on it, whatever. But you can run any type of plate that you want, as long as you carry the other one with you. So I have this one. This is what I'm going to use. I think it looks cool. Heck yeah, look at that. Okay, there you want to see it? There we go. So here's our light. Looks good. So our wires will go up through here through this route. And then back here I have a grommet, a hole already drilled for our wiring to go in. But I think that looks really good, doesn't it? Heck yeah. I like the look. I like the little angle. Cool. All right, sweet. Just working on the headlights. I went ahead and threw in a dimmer switch. So probably will never use it, but it's going to help with wiring, and it's there if I do need it. Whew. Well, headlights are in, except for our driver's side. I'm still waiting on the lens and the new ring for it. It's coming from eBay, so I think it hasn't even shipped yet, even though I ordered it 2 days ago. But so I'm assuming another week for that, but that's easy just to clamp in, and that's good to go. So that's done. Our dash turned out awesome. I like the two-tone. Gauges look awesome in it. Got the temp sensor hooked up, the water temp. So that's all the way connected to the gauge now. Same thing for the oil pressure. All that's connected. So that's two things of the wiring that we don't have to worry about. And our taillight, modified that, an original housing and arm to make it work, and that's LED lights now. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do the wiring. I have a whole wiring harness and stuff like that, but I don't know how I'm going to actually video it where I can actually see what I'm doing. I might just do some highlights or something like that. I'm really not sure yet. So one step closer. Next few videos, don't know which order yet. Obviously wiring is one. Oh, hey, we did get the tires and rims and stuff on. I haven't put the center caps on yet, but I want to wait, kind of make sure I don't take the wheels and stuff off too many times. So like I said, we're going to be doing wiring coming up. Not sure how I'm going to do that. I need to make door panels. I got some 20 gauge that I'm going to do that with. Figure out how to connect it to the exterior door skin. I know it's going to have to be two-piece because of our handle and connecting that and stuff. So that'll be fun and tricky. So we got door panels to make. We need to take our two steering wheels, take the good outer wood rim and the good inner metal spoke part. Take the best of those two, re-glue the wood, sand that up, put some stain on it and paint the actual center section. Then the hood will be good. Then we can figure out our little horn button section there. So that's be coming up. What else we got? I know we got a bunch more. We got to do the wood or the rubber floor. We got to get the seat upholstered. I'm still looking, trying to find somebody for that. I got it narrowed down, I think. So I don't know. I'm missing stuff. Oh, bumpers. Did I ever show you these bumpers? Let me show you that real quick. Not sure what somebody did, but man, it is ugly. It's split. They got little filler pieces in. I don't know what's going on here. This one's almost broke through. It's just nasty. This side is broken. So I'm gonna have to try to figure those out somehow, what to do. If I can take them off or clean them up from here and weld them on, I'm not sure. Figure what the front looks like. Front is dinged up too, but I mean, it's ugly. So I think this side's good. Oh, good. We have one side that's good. So might be able to clean that up some. We'll see. I don't know. But I do have my to-do list to do. It's probably 35, 40 things on it already. I keep adding to. Some of them are little, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. All right, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, some of this stuff's not the most fun to, hey man, the most fun stuff to watch, but I have to get it done at some point. So it's either I don't throw it in the video and then you don't know if I did it or what. So anyway, all right. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next Friday. See ya.